I just watched this movie Old by M. Night Shyamalan, and spoiler alert, I recommend you watch it, but I'm about to speak about it frankly. So if you want to watch it, stop watching this, watch it later. But for somebody who has seen it or doesn't mind it being spoiled, basically a bunch of people end up on an island, and they age like 1 year and 30 minutes, and it's all orchestrated by some pharmaceutical company that's testing drugs on people to do it rapidly to see the effects of these drugs. But what happens within the context of this island is that the people can't escape and they go insane. Half of them end up killing each other, the other half end up dying one way or the other. It's one of these thought-provoking M. Night Shyamalan movies, and the plot twist at the end is that there's a pharma company out in the real world orchestrating this whole thing. But it just reminds me of the ego. We're put in this space, put in this place, and time will surely kill us all. Every person's worst fear in this movie ends up coming out when the pressure is on. And they'll end up dead. Think about World War II, for example. Maybe a quarter of all Europe died in World War II. There's just a lot of pressure. A lot of people attacked each other. Then people defended themselves, did counterattacks. There's just so much tension and stress that there was mass murder. There's this one really skinny girl, and she got older and older and older, became super conscious about her appearance as her age was fading, and she went insane at the end, and she'd hit her arm on a rock, and then it would break, but because she heals so fast because of the island, it just glue back into place, but it healed back in the wrong spot. Then she'd contort, and she'd freak out, and just do it again and again and again, and by the end of it, like 30 seconds later, she was literally a mass of, like, she looked like Gumby, like just twisted up Gumby, like a Twizzler or pretzel or something, and then she died. I don't know if macabre is the right term for this, but this movie is fairly morbid. It's like Lord of the Flies almost, or Lost, except Lost is more optimistic. Stuck on an island, and the worst of them come out. And now I think about all the things that time has robbed me of. The house I grew up in, the beautiful house in New Jersey. Both my parents and my grandma within the last 6 years. 6 years ago, they were all alive. How much time is taken from me. How I am getting old. How I'll stand in the face of that. Will I let my insecurities run me wild, as these people did? Or will I be more transcendent, knowing that it's all temporary? Knowing that I must live this life with valor and dignity. When it's so easy to just fall into depravity. What does the ego do to people? The collective ego, the larger ego force. The fear of time, the fear of death. This movie is profoundly creepy at times. But so is life. And we do what we can to protect against it, but so is life. How will we operate in the meanwhile? How will you operate in the meanwhile? With fear. With giving in to neuroses, giving in to your worst instincts. Or with letting those things express themselves to some extent, but tempering them. Touching your higher dignity, your higher angels, your transcendent self, your eternal, immortal self. M. Night Shyamalan makes a lot of good movies. His best were The Sixth Sense and Signs. Then I like The Village. The Village came out, a lot of people didn't like it. He made a movie called Unbreakable 2 with Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson. They're extremely thought-provoking. They're all profound. Then he made a lot of movies. He's made a lot. I didn't even know he's still making movies because they're not that good anymore. Not as good. But, oh man, this was... I wouldn't even say this was necessarily good as such, but it was worth watching. It was thought-provoking. It was an exploration of consciousness. So, that's what I have to say about that. Hope you enjoyed it.